Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome to a short, out of the theater, rant, no rant, reaction review. My reason for putting it like that is I could swear, I could absolutely swear that I hit record on my phone. And so when I got out of the theater, I went to go see Nobody 2. And got out, went to the car, set up the phone, and hit record, did my whole review, probably like 12 minutes, and just turned it off, came home, a couple days later, well, today, said, I should probably upload that review. Can't find it. Cannot find it anywhere. It is not in a garbage can. It is not in history. It is not on my phone. It is not on my computer. Like maybe I did take it at least from the phone and put it on the computer. I cannot find it anywhere. And I thought maybe like I deleted it type of thing. Nope, can't find it anywhere. Cannot find this review at all. Normally, what I do is I hit record on the phone. I look at the numbers going to tell me how long it is. I'm like, okay, it's recording. I'll stop it, and then I'll play it back for a couple seconds just to make sure the picture is okay, the sound is all right. And I'll be like, oh, okay, good. And then like a day later or 2 days later, I'll upload it and put it on YouTube. Did not happen this time. So I still want to review the film. And it's like, okay, well, this will kind of be a combination of an out of the theater rant, no rant, in my car reaction, and a short review. And I'm just going to have to make sure in the future that I do record these things. The thing that kind of sucks is that the last couple reviews I've done have been at night, and the picture looks crappy. But this one was done during the day. And I even made a comment like, oh, okay, great. Look there, this is during the day. The picture is going to look better. I think when I do it at night and it's got that grainy look to it, it looks kind of amateurish. So I don't really like doing those as much. But at times I only can go see the movies at night. And, I just want to see them as soon as possible so I don't hear too many spoilers. But so, like I said, I went to go see Nobody 2. This is kind of a rant, no rant, but it's kind of frustrating at the same time. So, this is what we're talking about. Like I said, Nobody 2. And I am a huge, just to give a brief history, I'm a huge John Wick fan. And I've seen and own all 4 movies. I'm a huge Atomic Blonde fan. I own the movie. I own Nobody. I'm a huge fan of that. I own the movie. I've probably seen the John Wick films, I don't know, 3 times each, maybe. Atomic Blonde, I think I've seen about 3 times. And now I've seen Nobody 4 times. And I remember when I got all the Blu-rays and stuff, I did a big marathon. Oh, when the Continental came out, the TV series that came out, like the 3-parter that came out. I own that one too. I also own the Continental. And watched everything, before I watched the Continental. And then when Ballerina came out, I rewatched everything again, including, Atomic Blonde, Nobody. And then when Nobody 2 came out just a few days ago, I rewatched Nobody again. I think Nobody is great. The first film is great. I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. If I'm going 1 to 5, I mean, the least I would give it is like a 4.5, but it is definitely a 5. I absolutely love Nobody in the same way that I loved Ballerina. And Ballerina bombed at the box office, unfortunately. I want to, little down the road, I'm going to do a big kind of John Wick universe video, because I want to, and I'll invite some people on that are also fans to see it, so we can talk about, all the movies, including like Continental and stuff. And I absolutely, like I said, I absolutely love Nobody. I think it's perfect. It's beautifully directed, wonderfully acted. It's the editing is amazing. The cinematography is great. The music is good. Love Bob Odenkirk. I watched, Better Call Saul. I watched Breaking Bad. It was, I mean, he is great, and he's been, of course, great in other stuff too. And so I was very excited about watching this, part two, Nobody 2. And so I watched Nobody the day before I went to go see it in the theater. And went to the theater, and it's not what I was hoping it would be. I was really disappointed in it. It just didn't seem like they put the work into it that they did on the first film. And so I was very disappointed with this. I saw it earlier in the day. This was a Thursday. There were a few people in the audience, not a lot, but there were a few. I mean, it's a Thursday afternoon. And then OGP went to go see it Thursday night, and then he called me when he got back home and we talked about it. And there's two films that I can, compare this to. One is National Lampoon's Vacation, the first one. The other one is the original Roadhouse. Roadhouse. And to me, it was a combination of the two. The action scenes are great. They're really well done. I did have some problems with a couple of them. Like the thumbnail says, this is going to be spoiler free. This is just my reaction on seeing the movie. I will be showing some pictures from the film, but they go on this vacation that they talk about in the first movie. And I really felt, because so this is the family. They're at the amusement park vacation area. The dad, Christopher Lloyd, when Hutch and his brother were younger, took them to this place, took them to this park, which kind of reminded me of Wally World. And you got the whole family there. You even have, you got the mom and dad, you got the brother and sister. And instead of like the dad or grandma from, Vacation, you have, Christopher Lloyd, who would be the dad or grandpa. And they go there, and all of a sudden, so I'm thinking, okay, so this is going to be Vacation. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I love Vacation. It's a great movie, especially the first one. And let's see where they go with this. So as they're driving there, they then end up in this small town, and they meet up with Colin Hanks, who is Tom Hanks' son. For me, they look a little too much alike, and that kind of bugs me a little bit. Like Jack Quaid, who is Dennis Quaid's son, I don't think they look enough alike that it bothers me. Or you have like Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell. Wyatt Russell doesn't look enough like his dad to where it bugs me. Colin looks a little too much like his dad for my taste. But, so now we shift from Vacation to Roadhouse. Or you could even say a movie like Walking Tall. And any movie from the 80s, pretty much maybe the early 90s, where the stranger goes into like the corrupt town that is run by the corrupt mayor, and then they have like the evil sheriff, and then the sheriff has all of his men, and the guy who's coming to town is the good guy, and he's messing everything up in there because they either have like drugs, that they're, selling, or weapons, or whatever it might be. And so I'm like, okay, now they're going for this kind of 80s, 90s type of feel. You could even say that with movies like, like The New Kids or Tough Turf, Bullies, which is a great one, which I wish somebody would really release one day. There's all these movies where the locals are afraid of the mayor who has saved the town and owns all the shops, so they have to do what the mayor tells them to do, or he's going to shut their place down. And they don't want to, piss anybody off because the sheriff will then send his, his posse, his goons, to then go rough up, the guy that owns the little market, or the reporter who's going to expose everything will have the crap beaten out of them or mysteriously killed in a car crash or something. And that's what this reminds me of. It absolutely reminds me of that. And I think if they went full vacation, full, Roadhouse or Roadhouse, and but they don't, and it bothers me that it's just that it doesn't match what is in the world of John Wick, Atomic Blonde, or even the first Nobody. It just reminds me of a spoof or a mimic of a movie from the 80s or early 90s. So, and Colin Hanks here plays, of course, the evil sheriff in this. Then here we got a picture of Hutch. This is there's a I don't know if he's the manager or owner of this arcade, and it's in the trailer, so this doesn't ruin anything. But the owner, who's an adult, hits Hutch's daughter's head, like flicks her head as they're leaving because they're being kicked out. And Hutch, okay, he leaves, but then that assassin in him comes out and he turns back around and goes inside and he beats the fuck out of the guy and tosses around other people too. And his wife gets pretty pissed at him. So, because they're on vacation, he then goes in, and then this is another scene. So he has like a fight in an elevator. There's all these fights that are pretty original to the film. They're not really mimicking anything from the first film, except for a few scenes. There's a scene on one of those, it's like a duck boat or something, and it has like duck stuff on it. It looks supposed to look like a duck, and you can take a tour, and there's a fight on there. That just reminded me of the fight on the bus. So there are some original fights, like the one here in the elevator, but then there's also other fights that are like, okay, so, and I'm making this up, this doesn't happen in either film, but it'd be like, okay, well, in the first film, he had a fight Hutch had a fight in, let's say, a supermarket. And now he's having a fight at a bowling alley. It's the same thing, just a different location. And the worst thing in this, and I did like this elevator scene, it was not bad. The worst thing in this is our main villain, the villain of the movie. So in the first movie, it was the Russian guy, who I loved. I thought he was a great villain. You learned everything about this guy in one scene as he gets out of his car, walks across the road, his cars are screeching to a halt, and and honking at him. And our villain enters in a club, and he's sniffing coke, and he's singing on stage, and he goes upstairs. He ends up killing a guy. I thought that he was a great villain. And this did not work for me at all. And that is Sharon Stone. I think this woman is crazy in real life. I think that she is nuts. And you could basically just watch any interview with her where she tries to make herself sound like she's one of the people. And instead, she comes off so just ill-informed of what is going on around her. She just, she's not connecting with anybody with some of these things that she's saying, that you could almost see it in this character that she's playing. And I think she gives a horrible acting job. I mean, horrible. I don't know, excuse me, if this was intentional, you know, that like the director and the writers and stuff, maybe even Bob Odenkirk, are like, okay, we want you to play kind of this 80s, you know, villain. So you got to be kind of over the top and you got to be weird and quirky. Well, to be honest, I thought she was a better villain in Catwoman. One, she looked better. She also did a lot of fight scenes with Halle Berry in that, you know, as Catwoman, and well, Halle Berry's Catwoman, Sharon Stone isn't, but it's I thought that she was a much better villain in that movie. This, she just seems, I don't know, I don't. It's almost like they didn't really know what to do with her because they didn't want to do a carbon copy of the first film, and I just didn't buy it. A film that has no relation to any of this at all that I did enjoy, the two Charlie's Angels movies, you know, the ones with like Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz. It's the second one, Full Throttle, that has Demi Moore ends up being the villain. She is good in that. She is really good in that. She looks great. There's a scene of her like in a bikini and like this long meat coat, and she's got a gun, and she looks amazing, and she's fun in the movie. Like she knows exactly what's going on. This, I don't think Sharon Stone understood it. I don't. She is bad in this, almost like she forgot how to act. And I just did not, man, I did not like her in this. For me, she even brought the film down more. I just did not dig it. So what I would have done, and I know this is Monday Night Quarterback, and there's not a lot that you can, you know, there's nothing that can be done now, so it's almost kind of pointless. I would have done this as the continuation, but only a few years later, of Hutch and his family. They're doing their best, right? Everything worked out from the first movie. There is a mid credit sequence in the first film where you see Hutch and Connie Nelson, the wife, buying a new house. And she goes, "Oh, is there a basement?" I would have had everybody on board. I would have had the kids on board. I would have had everybody on board. You know, maybe the, excuse me, you know, you could see almost like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type of thing, where maybe the wife is now at the gun range. Maybe, you know, the son has learned, because we see him in the first movie jump the burglar that's in the house, that he's now more intense into this stuff. Even the daughter, like we could see the daughter maybe getting bullied a little bit, and the brother comes up to save her, and she's like, "No, I got this," and she just kicks the shit out of the kids that are bullying her. Everybody knows what's going on. They know what their dad does. They're on board with it. They, you know, and of course the dad, Hutch, doesn't want them to become what he's becoming, but he also wants them to be able to protect himself. It's very positive. It's a very, you know, they love the home that they're in. You know, the wife maybe goes off on a mission, he goes off on a mission, and then they come back and they're all kind of bloody and scratched up and bruised, and they're like, "We need a vacation." And then they take off and go somewhere for a vacation. And it's the family working together as this unit. That's very positive. Instead, what I got from this was almost a Die Hard with a vengeance. You know, Die Hard 3. And because if you remember in Die Hard, right, Bruce is coming out, you know, he's, you know, from New York, he comes out to LA to kind of, you know, to be with the wife, for them to get back together again. By the end of the movie, they're together. You know, they even punch out the reporter and stuff, and everything works out. Then in Die Hard 2, he's trying to save her from a terrorist. Her plane is circling. I believe, if I'm correct, it's her plane that's running out of fuel, and he has to get them down to the ground. He has to get rid of the terrorist. And he's talking to her, like the wife on the phone, Bonnie Bedelia, and saying, you know, he's talking to her, "Hey, you know, it's great when, you know, that you're going to come here, you know, can't wait to see you," type of thing. He even has the hot woman at the airport, you know, hit on him, and he's like, you know, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts, you know, with his ring finger. And then all of a sudden, and they're happy at the end. All of a sudden, in Die Hard with a Vengeance, they're divorced. He's drunk throughout the movie. He has a hangover throughout the movie, and he keeps asking for aspirin. And he's absolutely miserable in this film. And it's like, why do that? Why make all of a sudden your main character, who we all love, miserable? And it just makes us miserable. And it's not like the wife is out of the picture. So I don't know what happened. If something happened with Bonnie Bedelia and they didn't want her back or whatever, it's like Die Hard with a Vengeance is okay. That's all it is. Nobody 2 reminded me of that. They start off the movie and it's depressing. We see his life again, which is him going out and he's being the assassin, he's killing everybody. The wife now, she's giving him the same type of responses in the first film. It's, the son, when they're on vacation, he's like, oh, will dad be joining us? Because he's never here. It's like everything that he did in the first film, they throw away in the second film to make this a happy family, and everybody seems miserable again. And it's like, no, why not just go the other direction and make this a happy movie? And because that's what, it just doesn't make sense to me of why you would literally do a carbon paste of the original script and then just change things from, change bus to boat duck. Boom, done. It's like, that's all they seem to do. Another question that I had was that in the first film, he buys the company from his stepdad, the great Michael Ironside. And which I would have loved to have had him in this. Maybe both of the dads could have come along. The wife's dad, who's Michael Ironside, could be right next to Christopher Lloyd. I mean, that would have been awesome. I love Michael Ironside. Ever since I saw him in Scanners, the guy has just been a hero. And a legend at that. And it's so we never see in part 2 what happened to the place. We don't even see him at that job at all. We see nothing. So did he only buy it to have the big fight, and then he sold it to somebody else? So some of this stuff to me, I don't know. They could have explored a little bit more. The first film is like 89 minutes. This one is like 93. I think they probably could have made it a little bit longer and just explained some stuff. So, with that being said, if I gave it a review, 1 to 5, 2.5, maybe. I'm going to have to watch this again. And because I'm a completist and an idiot, I'll probably buy it, to just put it with the collection. But I'm not going to buy it full price. There's no way I'm paying $30 for this or $40 because Blu-rays are really expensive these days for some reason. And but I'll buy it used, like $10 or something, just to have it in the collection. Since the director had said that he didn't want to do any of these mid-credit or in-credit scenes, he's kind of implying that this is it. It's done. We're not going to do a part 3. I mean, it would just be the same thing as 1 and 2 anyways, but of course, how many Die Hard films do they have? And Bob Odenkirk, of course, isn't getting any younger, so if they are going to do a 3, they should do it if they want to do a trilogy. But, I don't know. So, that brings me to this, and this is why I want to do a much bigger film. Much bigger video. So, come on, get out of there. There we go. Dumb Sharon Stone, messing up my video. Okay, so this is John Wick and Ballerina. So we know that Ballerina is in the world of John Wick. He's in the movie. It's within the world. All of that. I loved Ballerina. I think it's better than all the John Wick movies. 1 through 4. I think Ballerina is great. It's a 5 to me. It is absolutely great. So these two characters are in the same universe together, which is great. So then that means that Unofficially, Ballerina, who's not pictured in here, John Wick, Atomic Blonde, and Nobody. Technically, untechnically, officially, unofficially, they're actually all in the same universe. And like they have like a same writer, maybe a same producer, maybe and I've read that they would love to do crossovers. But they can't because some of these are from different companies, so it's a copyright issue. But they are in the same universe, and I think that's why I'm disappointed, because all four John Wick films, Atomic Blonde, Nobody Won, and Ballerina, are all great. They make a perfect universe. But then when you throw Nobody 2 in there, it puts a kink in it, for me at least. And they already have, let's get rid of this. I hate to keep doing it this way, but okay. So here we have a 2-movie collection, Atomic Blonde and Nobody. So these are from the same company, which is why they're on the same, in the same collection together. So you could say, because it is the same company, definitely Atomic Blonde and Nobody are in the same universe. And of course, John Wick and Ballerina are in the same universe. And now they just need to figure out how we can get all four. So John Wick, Ballerina, Atomic Blonde, and Nobody, all in the same universe together. Kind of do an Expendables type of thing and get them into the same universe, because I think that would be great. And I am just taking a look here. So I have not looked at this. You guys know I like to look at box office. Okay, so I have the box. Okay, so here's the Wikipedia for Nobody 2. And it's bombing. So the budget is $25 million. So far, it has only made $14.2 million. So it officially came out Friday. And so let's go to this here. I really like this poster. I think this is great with the daughter's little bracelet from the first film, and it just says Nobody 2 on it. I think that's a good poster. So I saw it Thursday, which was kind of like a preview night, word of mouth type of thing. And then officially Friday, Saturday, and then today is Sunday. So we won't really know the official box office probably till like Tuesday. And then, Monday they'll tally everything up, but probably Tuesday or Wednesday we'll get an actual amount of what the film made. If they're not planning on making a sequel, then that's fine if the film doesn't do great. Who knows? Maybe they could do like a Netflix spin-off or something. I think the first one was originally Netflix. And because I don't think it played in the theater. I think it was just Netflix. Let me make sure before somebody corrects me on that. Well, no, it's Universal Pictures. So I guess it did play in the theaters. So I must have seen it streaming. I don't think I ever saw it in the theater. Yeah, it's Universal Pictures. And the box office was 16 million. So it's almost the same as the sequel. But its box office was 57.5 million. And that is big. That is a hit right there. So we'll know, because a movie has to make twice its budget back. These days, it's almost 3 times its budget with marketing, reshoots, all that type of stuff. And especially with how much money the stars, want to be in these things. I mean, it would be interesting to find out how much money, Sharon Stone got. But it's not doing great. So we'll have to see what it does, how it does this week. I don't want the film to bomb, even though I didn't like it. But I just wish it was better. Maybe a part 3 would be better. Maybe they could learn from some mistakes. I don't know. So I mean, we'll have to see. But all right, so yeah, I guess yeah, we'll end it here. So I mean, if you want to see it, check it out in the theater. Otherwise, I think I would probably wait till streaming, and because I definitely don't think this is going to hit that like 57 million that the first one did, and I think I saw the trailers for the first one maybe, and then just went to go and then just saw it streaming, loved it, bought it. So I thought maybe I just like it's probably like a Netflix movie, but I guess not if it's Universal. So I think I'm totally wrong about that one. So yeah, I just missed it, but I watched the John Wick stuff in the theater. I didn't see Atomic Blonde. Yeah, so I guess it's been theater streaming, or Blu-ray for all of these, kind of a mixture. So, yeah, okay. Well, check it out. Let me know down below if you've seen it and if you liked it or not. Let me know if you see it in the theater or, wait till streaming. I'm going to give it another shot when it comes to streaming. That will be two viewings. See if I like it. And then buy it cheaply on Blu-ray. Probably watch it a third time. See if I like it, anymore. Maybe, who knows, I might change my mind. I've done that a lot recently with stuff, especially older movies. So, all right, everybody, thanks a lot. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, bye.